This is WFYI News Now. It's Friday, January 9th, and I'm Sarah Neal Estes. Here are today's Central Indiana and statewide stories. Indiana's senior U.S. Senator is one of 5 Republicans to vote in favor of a war powers resolution to limit President Donald Trump's powers to deploy the military. John Gibson reports.
The U.S. Senate advanced the resolution on a 52-47 vote, requiring congressional approval for any further attacks on Venezuela. In a statement, Senator Todd Young expressed support for Trump's decision to bring Nicolas Maduro to justice. Young also commended the bravery and professionalism of U.S. personnel who, as he put it, carried out the successful law enforcement mission in Venezuela. But Young says he's not prepared to commit American troops to stabilize the country. He does say he's open to persuasion, but any future commitment of U.S. forces in Venezuela must be subject to debate and authorization in Congress. I'm John Gibson in Evansville.
Several hundred people gathered in downtown Indianapolis last night to protest the killing of Renee Nicole Good by an ICE officer in Minneapolis earlier this week. The gathering at Monument Circle was also a protest against President Donald Trump's administration's immigration enforcement. Indianapolis resident Dave Tipton said he attended the protest because he's concerned about ICE's actions across the country.
The whole thing is just a sham. That's not what happened. I mean, she was totally innocent and they murdered her in cold blood. There's no question about it.
The Trump administration has defended the agent that was accused of shooting Renee Good and have vowed to continue their immigration crackdown. Minnesota officials have disputed the federal government's account of Good's death. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett appointed Police Chief Chris Bailey as the new Chief Deputy Mayor and Chief of Staff. Samantha Horton has more.
Bailey has served in the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department for more than 2 decades and is currently the Chief of IMPD. Hogsett said in a media release that Bailey's appointment, quote, underscores our administration's continued commitment to public safety and stronger neighborhoods. Bailey will begin his new role on February 2nd. Hogsett will appoint new IMPD leadership in the coming weeks. I'm Samantha Horton.
Indiana is attracting data centers from tech companies across the country, and in Indianapolis, community members in the historically black neighborhood of Martindale-Brightwood gathered last night to learn more about a proposed data center and what it could mean for them. Farrah Anderson reports.
California-based developer MetroBlocks has filed a rezoning variance to build a data center complex on nearly 14 acres in Martindale-Brightwood. Neighbors worry this development will use too much water and power and could further harm the environment. Paula Brooks is the Environmental Justice Director with the Hoosier Environmental Council.
It's critical that we make sure that the neighborhood survives another 100, 150 years. It's in trouble right now with this data center coming in.
A hearing about the rezoning request is next week at the Metropolitan Development Commission. I'm Farrah Anderson in Indianapolis.
A federal court ruled Indiana University violated the First Amendment rights of pro-Palestine protesters it banned from campus in 2024. It also forced IU to rescind formal reprimands for nighttime protests after a court order last May. The 10 plaintiffs are IU faculty, graduate students, and alumni. They were represented by attorney Stevie Pachter with the American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana.
I certainly hope the outcome of this case changes how IU handles the First Amendment. We have a federal court telling IU that its expressive activity policy violated the Constitution.
The court denied the plaintiff's claim for damages against University President Pamela Whitten and Superintendent for Public Safety Benjamin Hunter, saying both were entitled to qualified immunity. The latest version of the expressive activity policy remains in effect. Republicans at the State House released their priorities for the 2026 legislative session, prioritizing public safety and deregulation. As Ben Thorpe reports, the Senate is focused on issues of welfare fraud, while the House vows to tackle some affordability issues.
Republicans in the Senate discussed plans to deny bail to dangerous suspects and underlined the importance of ending the session early and under budget. In the House, Speaker Todd Houston promoted bills rolling back regulations in housing and education. Houston says the way to help Hoosiers is for the government to get out of the way.
Our Priorities are aimed at continuing Indiana's momentum while addressing some of the highest costs facing Hoosiers.
Democrats in the House say while they support some of the affordability measures put forward by Republicans, they don't go far enough. Lawmakers are expected to conclude at the end of February. I'm Ben Thorpe at the State House.
The Indiana Department of Transportation postponed more than 300 projects due to funding issues. The department says it's dealing with inflation, supply chain issues, and shrinking tax revenue. At a committee meeting this week, Department Legislative Director Aaron Wainscott gave more details about the delays.
It's not necessarily just, oh, this road isn't going to get a traffic signal, or this road isn't going to get an extra turn lane here. It's major projects like a full improvement of the northwest quadrant of 465 and 65 up there.
Wainscott confirmed the number of postponed projects grew in the last year, though he did not give an exact number. The department says the delays mostly affect the timing and scope of projects. The Indiana University Hoosiers face the Oregon Ducks in a National College Football semifinal game tonight. The Hoosiers are 14-0, and reporters joked with Curt Cignetti at a Peach Bowl press conference about an assertion that he's never happy.
No, that's not right. I mean, there's a lot of times I am happy, I just don't show I'm happy.
Cignetti has become well known for his scowl on the sideline with his hands on his hips. He often looks that way even when the undefeated Hoosiers have a game well in hand. He says there's a reason for that look.
And if I'm going to ask my players, right, to play the first play, to play 150 the same regardless of competitive circumstances, then I can't be seen on the sideline, right, high-fiving people and celebrating.
The National College Football semifinal game is tonight at 7:30 p.m. The winner goes to Miami for the national championship game, January 19th. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music, and if you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.